So I've got some good news. If you're one of the lucky people who managed to get tickets to attend the Pokemon World Championships 2022 at the Excel Centre in London in the United Kingdom, I'm gonna be there. I got my spectator pass. Me and Sophie are both gonna be there, so if you're about, make sure you pop over and say hi if you see us. It'd be really cool to meet a whole bunch of you. But anyway, half of you don't care about anything to do with me as a person, so WTF Moments! We begin today's episode with Ash and friends coming across a trainer and his Wobbuffet with this direct quote from the Pokédex.
Wobbuffet, the patient Pokemon. Wobbuffet like to live in dark areas so they can keep their pitch black tails concealed.
Wow, mate, would you look at that? A Pokédex entry that, whilst paraphrased a little bit, is actually accurate to the in-game Pokédex. Nice work, Pokemon. Keep it up.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find this can't be a WTF moment if Pokemon have done something right.
Oh, you should know by now, I absolutely can. Pokemon have rarely kept true to the in-game Pokédex, so this is really refreshing to see. Let's hope they continue like this. Benny here explains to Ash and friends that he's taking his Wobbuffet to the Pokémon Swap Meet, this being a yearly event where trainers meet up to trade Pokemon. And of course, this means that Ash and friends have once again managed to arrive at a place on the very day of their town's big yearly event. Awfully convenient, don't you think? Imagine if Ash and friends had arrived and Benny had been like, oh, I guess you guys must have gone to the swap meet yesterday. Oh, you didn't? That's a shame. You missed out on a really great event, and then Ash and friends just spent the day trying to figure out what to do and just ended up battling random trainers to pass the time. Wait, no, that actually sounds a lot better depending on the Pokemon. Misty tells Benny she doesn't think he should get his heart set on trading his Pokemon if she were him. Mate, isn't this like the first Wobbuffet you've ever seen? What makes you suddenly an expert in what makes a good Wobbuffet? Wind your neck in and stop acting like you know it all, love. Benny explains his decision to trade Wobbuffet by saying,
I really love raising this Wobbuffet, but I can't wait to try raising a different Pokemon.
I don't get why that means you have to trade Wobbuffet away though. Like, surely you can't have loved raising it that much if you're willing to just give it away. Also, I don't know if Benny's heard, but there's this crazy new thing Pokemon trainers are doing nowadays when they finish raising one Pokemon. They go out and catch another. Oh look, it's Madam Much Money Snubbull. Well, I guess we can count on this little bitch causing Meowth some trouble in this episode. Wait, it doesn't do anything at all? What's the point in showing it then? Like, don't reveal it if you're not going to follow up on it. Pokemon, you're doing Chekhov's Snubbull wrong. One of the other events happening this weekend is the running of the Tauros. You get it? Because they're in Pamplona, and in the real world, Pamplona is the place where the running of the bulls happens every year. Yeah, great idea. Let's base an episode of Pokemon around an inhumane annual event based around cruelty to animals. Tune in next week, kids, when Ash and friends will learn about the joys of terrorism. Ash stands in front of the stampeding herd and almost gets trampled to death. Way to go, Simba. Probably a good thing your dad hasn't been around for years. After the running of the Tauros, spectators are treated to an afternoon of one-on-one Tauros battles. Mate, I thought the Pokemon world had TV. How can this be the entertainment people are choosing to watch? I can't think of anything more boring than watching two Tauros compete one-on-one, let alone a whole afternoon of Tauros versus Tauros battles. 251 species of Pokemon at this point in time, and you people want to watch the same species battle one-on-one over and over? The people of Pamplona need to get a grip, mate. The announcer even says the crowd are seeing an amazing display of dual tackle attacks. Mate, they're even using the same moves. This is tragic. When we complain that we want more battles in the Pokemon anime, this is not what we mean. The match is over, and can you believe it? Tauros won. Who saw that coming? Ash decides he wants to enter one of his 30 Tauros into the Tauros competition, so calls up Professor Oak to have one sent over. Oak tells him, quite rightly, that he currently already has 6 Pokemon on him, so we'll have to send one to Oak first before Oak can send Tauros back to him. And honestly, it's just nice to see Pokemon actually acknowledging this rule from the games. We've come a long way since Damien and his 30-odd Pokeballs. After Oak suggests Ash send Heracross over, we get this direct quote from Brock.
Maybe Professor Oak's going to observe Heracross sucking the sap from all the trees around his place.
Yeah, based on how Professor Oak and Ash's muck interact, I doubt it's the trees Professor Oak wants to observe Heracross sucking. That's weird. Ash told Professor Oak to send over Tauros, but that's a regular Pokeball, not a Safari Ball. That ball right there can only be for Snorlax, Kingler, or Muck. I guess that means Ash and Oak will just have to do another exchange off camera. This guy, Fernando, has apparently beaten 10 opponents. Huh, interesting. I guess this isn't a Tauros tournament then. More of a winner stays on affair, I guess. This contest somehow just became more boring. Pass it on. Oh no, apparently Ash's Tauros is in a regular Pokeball now and not a Safari Ball. I suppose we're just meant to assume Professor Oak made that change? Is that just something he does, or do trainers have to request that Professor Oak change their Pokemon's Pokeball? Or is it just that Safari Balls are designed to be temporary and sooner or later you have to exchange them for a regular Pokeball? And does this process cost the trainer anything? Because surely Oaks had to pay up front for the extra Pokeballs, right? Answers on a postcard. I got nothing. Ash and Fernando both get their Tauros to use Takedown Attack. And oh look, it looks exactly the same as when those other Tauros earlier were both using Tackle Attack. So all these people in the stands have spent the entire afternoon watching identical Pokemon use identical attacks. Have I made it clear just how boring this must be for them yet? Direct quote from Benny after he spots Ash on one of the stadium's big screens.
He looks the same in person as he does on TV.
Yes, Benny. That's how cameras work. Mankind have spent literal decades trying to ensure that cameras capture the most true-to-life images possible. Ash's Tauros defeats Fernando's Tauros, and I guess there's only one thing to be said. Thank fuck that's over. Oh wow, can you believe it? Multiple Johto Pokemon in one episode? This is unprecedented. Normally every episode's a complete Kanto fest. Are you okay, Pokemon writers? Do you need a lie down? Oh, would you look at that? It's Kath from Afterlife. This girl here is trading her favourite Ledibur for this boy's Marill. Poor little lad got shafted here, didn't he? Like, who in their right mind would give away a perfectly good Marill for a goddamn labia? Take two. Like, who in their right mind would trade a perfectly good Marill for a goddamn Ledibur? Unless this Ledibur evolves into the Ledian from Radical Red, because that thing is broken. Benny asks Wobbuffet if it would be okay with Benny trading it for Ash's Tauros. Benny mate, why are you even asking it? You came to this swap meet with the intention of trading away your Wobbuffet, so it doesn't really have a say either way, does it? If you're trading it regardless, I doubt it gives a toss what you get in return. The trainer in the blue shirt here wants Ash to trade him his Tauros for his Onix. But his voice is really...
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find both trainers in this screenshot have blue shirts, so which one are you talking about?
The one who asks Ash to trade Tauros for Onix. I literally just mentioned that. But fine, the trainer in the blue shirt who doesn't have a jacket on. Better? Anyway, his voice is really jarring in this scene, because it's just Brock's voice, but with the pitch shifted up slightly. Like, I get that you only have a finite amount of voice actors, and a lot of the dub team do the additional voices in the episodes, but at least try and make the unimportant characters sound somewhat different from the main cast. After all, a bit of variety never hurt anyone. Just look at G Fuel! This weekend is a banging weekend because G Fuel is 30% off if you use code ACE. You can get yourself one of the wonderful, there's like 50 plus flavors at this point. You can get one of those lovely flavors like Mega Man Blue Bomber Slushie that I'm drinking right now, which is my favorite flavor of this current summer period. Oh, that is bloody amazing, and the best part is if you use code ACE, it helps support this channel while saving you 30% off this weekend until Monday, so go and bag yourself a bargain whilst helping the channel out. Thank you very much. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine, and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. So Team Rocket's current scam is pretending to have a trading machine that also raises the level of the Pokemon being traded. But of course, inside is just Meowth sending out empty Pokeballs back to the trainers. Now, whilst this is a great idea for a scheme on paper, there's one thing that's really bugging me about this scene. Why don't any of the trainers hoping to trade Pokemon open the Pokeballs they receive from the machine? Like, are you trying to tell me none of these trainers were excited enough about finally receiving a Pokemon they wanted so bad they were willing to trade another Pokemon for right then and there on the spot after receiving that new Pokemon? If that's the case, they can't have wanted to trade that badly, can they? Misty's Psyduck breaks out of its Pokeball and pops its head out of Misty's bag, and a bunch of trainers run over to show their interest. And then, oh my god, is that Tracy? No, it can't be. He's at Oak's lab, isn't he? Man, the guy's even got the same voice actor as Tracy as well. I guess this must be Tracy's cousin? Oh god, does that mean there's more of them? Please no, we don't want any more Tracys. One was cringe enough. Apparently, Misty doesn't want to trade her Psyduck away. Huh. Thought she hated that thing. Don't get me wrong, I think Psyduck's great, but Misty could have easily bagged herself a Marill here. Imagine that. Misty with a Marill, or eventually an Azumarill, would have been awesome. What could have been? Ash and Brock try and pressure this trainer into trading his Stantler for Benny's Wobbuffet, even going full used car salesman to convince him. Ash even says they'll throw in a 90-day warranty for parts and labor. Mate, you can't possibly honor that fake warranty. There's no parts or labor involved. Like, I know he's just talking out his arse, but Ash and Brock actively lying to another trainer to convince them to part with their Pokemon? That's not very protagonisty. James bumps into the old Magikarp salesman and almost falls for his same tricks again. I would say lucky for James he doesn't, but this time I think it would have been different. Imagine James owning a Magikarp, now fully knowing that it evolves into Gyarados and what that's like. Knowing James, he'd raise it with love and care and end up with an awesome, loyal Gyarados that's unstoppable. I mean, I know some of you would think that's too OP for Team Rocket, but think about it. Gyarados is 4 times weak to electric, so Pikachu could still KO it really easily. It's a shame about the salesman's math though. He starts off strong by saying the Magikarp will lay 1,000 eggs, and then those 1,000 Magikarp will lay 1,000 more, so he'll have 1,000,000, and then those 1,000,000 will lay 1,000 more, so he'll have 1,000,000,000 eggs. Although technically he's not accounting for the extra Magikarp each time, because you'd still have the original Magikarp, and you'd still have the original 1,000 babies, and you'd still have the original 1,000,000 babies. But then he also completely buggers up the simplest calculation. He says that once James has 1,000,000,000 Magikarp, if he sells them for $100 each, he'll then have $10 billion. Mate, in what universe is 100 times 1 billion 10 billion? All you had to do is 100 times 1 and then add the word billion to make 100 billion. I genuinely can't understand how he managed to cock that up. James actually shows some uncharacteristic self-awareness by remembering this guy swindling him in the past. Who are you? And what have you done with James? Also, James somehow has his coin purse back in his hand, even though in the previous scene it had seemingly disappeared. So who even knows what's going on with James at this point? This guy bails on trading Benny his Stantler after suddenly remembering that he actually wanted a flying type. And he does so at the very last second before the machine was turned on. Mate, what an absolute tosser, bailing at basically the point of no return. If I was that engineer bloke in the white coat, I'd have told him it was too late. Jessie's sent flying by James chasing the Magikarp salesman, and one of her Pokeballs falls into the trading machine that Benny was about to use. And thus, the Wobbuffet era of Team Rocket begins. It is bittersweet though, because on the one hand, I can't imagine Team Rocket without Wobbuffet. After all, Wobbuffet's been on Team Rocket for like 20 years at this point. Apart from in Gen 5, but the less said about that the better. But then on the other hand, we lose Lickitung, who always had so much potential. Oh god, has Wobbuffet really been part of Team Rocket for over 20 years though? Oh God, we really are just dying one day at a time, aren't we? The other trainers have finally realized that Team Rocket stole their Pokemon and gave them empty Pokeballs. Mate, it took you lot this long. To be honest, it just looks bad on all of them for not noticing until now, because do you really mean to tell me that none of these trainers decided to check out their newly acquired Pokemon until just now? If that's the case, they all kind of deserve to lose their Pokemon, to be honest. Look, I'm just saying, Pikachu and Togepi could absolutely escape here. I don't know why anyone's pretending otherwise. They could slip out of that rope so easily. And okay, let me get this straight. Team Rocket uses one of its classic vacuums that only suck up Pokeballs to steal the rest of the trainers' Pokemon. But all of the trainers somehow manage to hang on to just the Pokeball of each of their Tauros and one guy's Scyther, ready for Ash to tell them to send them out. Mate, what in the overly convenient anime situations is this? What, you're gonna try and tell me the Tauros' Pokeballs were heavier or something? And on top of that, they all had a hand free to throw their Pokeballs with, but couldn't escape? Bollocks. Jessie sends out what she believes is her Lickitung, but of course sends out what is now her new Wobbuffet. And do you know what really bothers me here? She clearly sees the value of Lickitung, since she was going to use it to battle against Ash and friends and assumed she was going to win using Lickitung. But her reaction to seeing that her Lickitung has been traded away for Wobbuffet was,
"So now this Wobbuffet belongs to me."
Not even a split second of, wait, where's my Lickitung? I want it back. Where's that kid from before? It's like she instantly forgot she ever had one. Man, they really did Lickitung dirty. It didn't even get a montage. Hashtag justice for Lickitung.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find Lickitung belongs to Benny now, and it'll probably be a lot happier with a trainer that's not a criminal. more.
Are you joking? This Benny kid literally raises Pokemon to trade away. Just look at the Wobbuffet that he supposedly loved raising. So it sounds to me like Benny might well be Lickitung's new trainer, but I doubt he's going to be Lickitung's last trainer. Poor thing. Direct quote from James.
Wobbuffet, the patient Pokemon, yada yada yada, is unable to initiate attacks.
Now, just fast forward 18 and a half years to the release of Pokemon Sword and Shield, and ha! Wrong! Wobbuffet can use Max Mindstorm and Max Knuckle. Sounds like it's time to update that book, James. Direct quote from Brock.
I had no idea Wobbuffet could have a counterattack that strong.
To be fair, Brock, before today, you didn't know Wobbuffet existed. After Pikachu gets rid of Team Rocket and Ash and friends return the stolen Pokeballs, one of the trainers says,
Hey, that looks like mine over there.
Mate, how can you tell? This is literally a sack of identical Pokeballs. That's why I reckon these two kids grab a Pokeball each, thank Ash, and then just quickly jog off. They probably turned up at the swap meet with something crap like a Ledibur and decided to take a chance on swiping a random Pokeball. Can't blame them really. I'd take that chance to snag a Scyther or a Sudowoodo. Benny turns up with Jessie's old Lickitung, and suddenly Lickitung licks Benny several times across the face. Licking a child's face? Oh no. It turns out Jessie's Lickitung was a nonce all along. Pass it on. Benny wonders where the woman who traded him Lickitung went, and figures it's too late to thank her and to ask her to take good care of Wobbuffet. Misty then says she probably left right after they finished trading, so what does Benny do? He turns around and yells at the top of his lungs, thanking her and asking her to take good care of Wobbuffet. Mate, what part of she probably left ages ago didn't you get? She's not heard you, mate. So those are my WTF moments of Pokemon Season 3, Episode 30, Tricks of the Trade. Let me know your favorites and any that I missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit the join button to become a member. Go to twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam for all of my live streams. And of course, use code ACE this weekend for 30% off G Fuel. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.